Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex.
And I'm Jay.
And we have some news updates for you from around the land of smiles today, this Monday, February 10th. But before we begin, please remember to subscribe to the channel. We just cracked 200,000. Yay. Woo. Thank you, viewers. But stay up to date on all things Thailand by hitting that subscribe button.
Voila.
Now, today, we'll be talking about corruption allegations at the Phuket airport, protests erupting over a violent attack on an LGBTQ university student, and a little later, a manhunt on a Malaysia mall shooter who is still at large. Now, first, we are back in Thailand as a Brit was beaten up by Thai bar girls over an unpaid bill.
Okay.
Make sure you pay your bills, people, because they're not messing around.
Yeah.
A British tourist in Pattaya was beaten and thrown out of a bar after refusing to pay his bill, which included a 50% markup on drinks for the women he and his friend were entertaining. Furious bar staff and women attacked him with high heels, slapping and kicking him while demanding payment. Bleeding from a head wound, the man pleaded for mercy, but a bar manager ordered him out, shouting insults. A bystander tried to calm the situation before he was forced to leave. Pattaya, known for its raucous nightlife, has a history of similar incidents. People probably coming here to Thailand, unfamiliar with how the culture works at these bars.
Yeah.
If a girl is sitting there with you and saying, hey, you want to buy me a drink, that kind of a thing, you're on the hook for it, and there's a markup on that. But then these guys felt they were getting ripped off, and
no, they're absolutely getting ripped off.
Yeah,
and that's the game. You just gotta say a hard no, which you can. They don't get aggressive over that, but you can't say yes and then be like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Wow, that lady is bullying.
They sure did lay down the law there.
Oh,
that's
wow.
for sure. Good God. So, anyways, guys, pay your bar girls. Otherwise, this could be your fate. But yeah, I'm not sure that this is justified even in that violence. Obviously, never the solution, but apparently it is an option on Soy 6 down there or something like that. And Jason Justice quips.
I know.
Hard no.
Jason, you dirty dog. All right. We're going to move on to our next story, which takes us down south to Phuket as airport corruption allegations are under investigations. Corruption at a Thai airport. Phuket's National Anti-Corruption Commission has not yet launched a formal investigation into 4 airports of Thailand staff accused of corruption despite acknowledging misconduct. The case involves an 11.8 million baht contract for royal commemorative stickers with procurement violations reported. Evidence collection is ongoing, but staff remain in their roles as suspensions require court approval. AOT previously announced internal disciplinary actions, but has not yet disclosed punishments. Concerns arise over delays in providing documents and failure to formally notify the NACC. Who knew stickers were that expensive?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Obviously, I think somebody did something wrong. Yeah. They're not. This could be one of those things where they're trying to like protect their image a little bit by not really disclosing exactly what the wrongdoing was.
Yeah.
But also not completely unheard of. A little bit of low-level corruption with some officials. I don't know. We'll see. Allegations at this point. All right. Now, on to our next story. There was some big protests that erupted over the weekend as an LGBTQ protest in Pathum, Thani broke out after a violent soup attack, of all things. Over 500 LGBTQ protesters gathered in Pathum, Thani after a university student was attacked with hot soup in a violent incident on February 7th. The victim was reportedly forced to cut his hair, threatened, and assaulted while showering, prompting him to flee unclothed. Police arrested the perpetrators, who are also LGBTQ, a little gay-on-gay crime, it appears, and charged them with bodily harm. Activist Khan Jompalang condemned the attack, highlighting further reports of extortion and intimidation. Protesters demanded an apology, but the suspects showed no remorse. Authorities assured a thorough investigation, reinforcing their stance against violence.
Violence.
Yeah, it was a big turnout for this. What was interesting about this is, like, usually when you hear about LGBTQ violence, it's from some bigots that are doing it against the community there. This was within the community, so I'm not sure exactly what the motivations were for it, but pretty shocking stuff, like beating them, cutting their hair. That's a shameful thing. Forcing them to run out naked into the streets in order to escape the attack, and then showing absolutely no remorse. So these people are, ostensibly monsters, we'll see what kind of punishment is given out, but good to see the community rallying in support of this victim.
All right, we're going to move on to our next story, which is regarding a former Russian beauty queen detained in Thai immigration center. Former Russian beauty queen Alexandra Tikhomorova, 23, has been detained in Thailand for overstaying her visa by 10 days. Held in harsh conditions in Pattaya, she may be transferred to Bangkok's overcrowded immigration detention center, known for its poor conditions. Human rights advocates are alarmed as her family denies allegations of past legal troubles or escort work. Her case highlights Thailand's strict immigration laws, with foreign nationals facing detention and deportation for overstays. Diplomatic intervention may be her only hope as concerns grow over the treatment of detainees in the Thai system.
Yeah.
What happened to the pay your fine and leave?
That's true. I mean, I think that might be one of the issues, is that she didn't have the money to fork over for
10
the fine.
days.
I know 10 days isn't even that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if this is like the solution, right? Like forcing people into these detention centers that are already overcrowded. That's a strain on the system. You're kind of like making it, it's a bad look, right? Definitely internationally, this hurts the reputation.
But what do you do, right? Like, let's say, look, whether it's 5 days or 10 days, you're right, Alex. If you don't have the money to pay for it, you're just gonna, unfortunately, they're like, okay, well, if you don't have the money to pay for it, then you're in detention until you figure it out.
I guess it is kind of the point, though, is to discourage people to be like, look, if you can't, like, it costs money, you're violating the law, there is a fine, you can't pay the fine, okay, there has to be some sort of punishment. So I wish it was nicer accommodations, but at the same time, it's not supposed to be a 5-star hotel.
Also, it might not just be about the fine, because I mean, it could just be like, hey, look, you've broken the law, and that's why you're in detention. It doesn't matter even if you have the money. So don't overstay, guys. Damn.
There's also allegations that she might have been an escort. They are denying those allegations,
allegedly.
so that could be something, as James McKeon says, maybe the pimp should pay the fine for them. If there is a pimp, it would be the nice thing for the pimp to do, but yes, indeed, unclear as to what exactly is going on in that situation.
Hashtag shout out to nice pimps.
Yeah, pimps take care of your girls. All right, moving on. This another overstaying story, which is this one's even weirder. All right, now guys, back in Pattaya, we're still there. A Ugandan woman faked a seizure in order to evade immigration check. Did it work out? Let's find out. A 39-year-old Ugandan woman, Irene Nakyanzi, faked a seizure on Pattaya Beach to evade an immigration check on February 7th. Stopped during a routine inspection following online criticism of unruly tourist behavior, she attempted to flee but was caught by officers. Authorities found she had overstayed her visa by 603 days since June 2023. After receiving medical attention, she was taken into custody and will face legal proceedings before deportation. This incident highlights Thailand's strict immigration enforcement and concerns over tourist misconduct. She was really selling it, that's for sure.
I know. I was trying to watch the video and I was like, what about this performance gave it away that it wasn't real? I think normally people having seizures don't have so much control that you're rolling over like 30 meters from one point to another. Anyways, look, not to make fun of this person, it just ends up coming out of it funny.
I think we can make fun of it. Like, this is like, I don't know what the end game is. I don't know what the thought process is, because, like, okay,
if I roll over enough times, they'll think it's real. That's what the end game was.
But I mean, that's what I mean. Even if they think it's real, they're just going to take you to a hospital, check you out, and then you're still in trouble for the crime that you've committed.
But that's an extra 2 hours that she's bought for herself.
Sure.
She's going to like board identity this. Like, she's going to be in the, okay, I'm just going to go to the bathroom, and then she's going to jump out of the window and be free.
I don't know, a larger Ugandan woman in Pattaya does have, like, she'll stick out a little bit, though. There's not a whole lot of Ugandans represented here. So, in any case, Damien Jesser.
Like you being in Uganda.
Right. Like, I think
you would stick out.
They would find me pretty quickly. Damien says she won an Oscar. Mojo says, is she Neymar? Or Neymar algorithm says harpoon? I don't know.
Yeah, that was a Neymar like performance. Well done, Mojo.
All right. Strange story.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next story. Is this going into ASEAN now?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. This story is regarding Thai hostages that have returned home after release by Hamas. 5 Thai hostages released by Hamas returned home on February the 9th, arriving at Suvarnabhumi Airport to emotional reunions with their families. Foreign Affairs Minister Maris praised the collaborative efforts that led to their safe return. While the hostages are physically healthy, concerns remain about their mental well-being after 15 months in captivity. The Labour Ministry will ensure their entitlements, and officials continue working to secure the release of the last remaining Thai hostage. Talks with Israel also aim to improve opportunities for Thai workers in the country.
Well, I can't imagine many people wanting to go back to Israel for work.
I know, I was about to say 15 months in captivity.
That's a wild amount of time. So obviously the concern for the mental well-being is well-founded, and they will be getting support from the Thai government. It's a very high-profile case.
I mean, I also feel strange sometimes. Like, do these people feel obliged? Like, look, they've just come back home from Suvarnabhumi Airport. There's like cameras shoved in their face, and the poor men there, they're just standing there and they're like looking. Like, I wonder if... I wonder if they're kind of forced to do it or if they feel obliged to do it. Like, that's the last thing I would do if I came from 15 months of captivity, is to be shoved in front of a camera to look sad and comment. How did you feel when you were in captivity? It's like, leave them alone for a bit, give them some time.
Yeah, I mean, if it bleeds, it leads. This is kind of one of those big stories that everybody wants to hear more about. Yeah. So a little unclear, but I would imagine... maybe these media appearances pay, so they get more money from it. But at the end of the day, we should really respect whatever their wishes are. Yeah. A little unclear what those might be, but at least they're safe. So I'll just say that. All right. Well, anyways, that'll do it for our Thailand section of the news. So now, you guessed it, we're on to the ASEAN Now section. Right. So we're going to hit the wider Southeast Asian region, where our first stop is going to be Malaysia. Now, I'm not sure if there's updates to the story or not. I tried to check, but as of last night and this morning, this is the latest I got, but it's a pretty big story. There's a Malaysian police hunt for a Setia Alam mall shooter. So a manhunt is underway for a Malaysian suspect in his 30s with 11 prior criminal records after a shooting at Setia City Mall in Selangor on February 8th. The attacker fired multiple shots, injuring a cleaner before attempting to flee. He carjacked a Perodua Ativa at gunpoint and was dropped off near the Kesas Expressway. Police recovered over 10 bullet casings, and social media has been flooded with eyewitness accounts. The injured cleaner is in stable condition, while mall employees and patrons described moments of panic as they fled or sheltered during the attack. Absolutely crazy story. Obviously, we're very happy that only one person was injured. There are no deaths in this case, but obviously a mall shooting is going to leave a big traumatic mark on not just the people that were there, but on the entire community, right?
Like, absolutely.
I remember when this happened in Thailand last year, it was insane to me. We had a shooting at one of the malls here, and we were literally there the next day covering a big major event. Yeah. And I was like, this is pretty weird. Like, people died here yesterday, and it really leaves an indelible mark on the psyche of people that frequent those places. So, anyways, and he's still at large, as far as I know. So we'll hopefully they can track him down.
I mean, there's so many ways to look at it. Like, people want to know about the news because they want to know, okay, what actually happened. From a business perspective, the mall or whatever business it is, they want to move as quickly as possible, want the least exposure to it, and just want people to forget that it ever happened. So, no doubt. It's just one of those things.
Yep. The world continues to revolve.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next story, which is regarding a military police officer that kills 2 and injures 3, then takes his own life. A military officer in Cambodia shot and killed his father-in-law, mother-in-law, seriously injuring his wife, brother-in-law, and a security guard before taking his own life. This attack, carried out with an AK-47 on February the 7th, left 3 dead and 3 critically wounded. Authorities are investigating the motive, questioning witnesses, and examining the crime scene. The tragic incident occurred at the victim's home with no confirmed cause yet for the violent outburst. We've had similar stories happen in Thailand, but some sad news coming out of Cambodia.
Yeah, absolutely crazy, shocking stuff. This was obviously he had access to an AK-47. That's pretty crazy. And obviously all of the victims were family members of his, as is so often the case in these crimes of passion, right? Like this seems like it was just an outburst of, and it's something we've talked about too, how like the rage-o-meter in East Asia is often not a dial as it is in the West. It's a switch that is just flipped, and all of a sudden irreversible damage is done. So yeah, hopefully at least we can figure out, like when these victims stabilize in condition, they can shed some more light on it to figure out what the hell happened. But pretty much highlighting the need for better mental health support and maybe less access to guns in these situations.
Yeah.
Tough stuff. All right. Well, anyways, another classic tale coming out of Indonesia. 3 British nationals have been arrested for cocaine smuggling in Bali. Tale as old as time. 3 British nationals were arrested in Bali for allegedly smuggling nearly 1 kilogram of cocaine hidden in food packaging. JC, 37 years old, and LE, 39, were caught at Ngurah Rai Airport on February 1st. After customs officials detected suspicious items in their luggage. A controlled delivery led to the arrest of PA, 31 years old, in Tuban. Authorities estimate the seized drugs value at 6 million rupiah, or about 368,000 USD, and suspect prior smuggling incidents. During a police press conference, JC and PA were seen laughing, despite facing serious charges. I don't think I'd be laughing. They're using just their acronyms or their initials, I guess.
I mean like a kg of cocaine is going to land you in a serious world of trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. That is, in Indonesia, they are not shy to pull the trigger on the death penalty for drug crimes.
Why do people do that? I don't understand.
Money, like obviously.
Yeah, but still, you have enough money to make someone else do it for you. I'm just saying, like this, it's not smart.
Yeah, always unclear exactly how deep these networks run. I mean, somebody at the end of the day has to be one of the mules.
Yeah, maybe they're the mules, right?
I assume so.
Yeah, let me just try to get a kg of cocaine through my bag while traveling.
Well, it's one of those things. They might have gotten away with it many times before.
If it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Yeah. It's definitely not worth it, guys. Especially with countries that are willing to execute over drug crimes.
Yeah.
I can't believe these guys are sitting there laughing about it. Anyways, we'll find out exactly what their punishment will be.
I'm laughing about it. Sorry.
Hey, if they're laughing, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty shocking stuff, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. It's a classic British thing, isn't it? If you're not laughing, then you're probably going to end up crying. So.
They're good with the bants, that's for sure.
All right. We're going to move on to our next story, which is regarding a suspected serial killer in Kaohsiung police. A 73-year-old man in Kaohsiung has been detained for allegedly murdering 3 women. The suspect, Chang, was arrested after a 71-year-old woman, Chow, disappeared. CCTV footage showed him repeatedly disposing of bags in a river, where forensic experts later found Chow's remains. DNA evidence linked 2 other missing women, including his sister-in-law, to the case. The suspect, previously convicted of rape, robbery, and theft, had been paroled from a life sentence. Police are still searching for the other victims' bodies and the murder weapon as the investigation continues. Crime at a late stage.
Yeah, indeed. That's that's pretty wild because usually, serial killers or whatever, they don't start that late. So maybe who knows if this man had been up to it younger.
I mean, look, he was in jail for almost life and he was on parole. So he's probably been in jail for 10, 20 plus years.
Right. Exactly. He was a monster, and apparently monsters just they once a monster, always. So you like to think that these things, people can be reformed from their bad behavior. Here is exactly a case against that theory. Anyways, I'm glad they found him, at least. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Those are some of the stories from across Thailand. You can find more stories on thethaiger.com or join in the conversation at
ASEANnow.com.
That's Thailand's largest English news platform, if you didn't know. But for now, let's dive into the live section and have a quick chat with the viewers.